This is Bart's Day in Court. I'm Ron Fisher, and we have quite a trial for you today. In all the years I've been behind the microphone, never have I seen a case like this. The defendant, Bart Bookatz, funeral director and fundraiser extraordinaire. Today, Bart's on trial for his life. I can hear the judge is just about to start. Let's go inside.
This is case number 216-932-7900, the People versus Bart Bookatz. That must be a pretty large group. I'd like to remind each witness that you are sworn to tell the truth, the whole truth, and believe me, nothing but the truth, under pain and penalty of perjury. Okay, let's get this thing started.
I know I'm under oath, so I have to tell the truth. Bart calls me on my cell phone every 3 or 4 days. And he says to me, "You don't care, you never call, you never send me a note, you're always out and about going to meetings, you're seeing other people. I'm despondent. I'm really forlorn about our relationship." And I say to him, "Bart, we go out to lunch once a week." I keep reminding him that you're an undertaker. People aren't interested in seeing you very, very frequently. I see you once a week. I think I'm doing my job. Do you ever stop to think about chocolate-covered potato chips? Why do people have chocolate-covered potato chips? The only time I ever see chocolate-covered potato chips are when you're sitting Shiva. If you show up at your house one night and they're chocolate-covered potato chips, you say, "Oh my gosh, someone's died." There's no other reason to have them. There's no other reason that you ever see them.
It's a good thing these aren't chocolate today. Otherwise, the trial would need a continuance. When we come back, a despondent wife tells all.
Bart has not been home for the last 32 years. I know he tells a lot of people that I don't cook dinner, but I do.
Don't go away. We're back, and the courtroom is abuzz over the testimony you are about to hear.
Bart has not been home for the last 32 years. I know he tells a lot of people that I don't cook dinner, but I do. It's just that he's never home to eat it. I've had some difficult nights, and we've had dogs in the past that have kept me company. Unfortunately, they're deceased now. And about a year ago, I had to go out and find someone to give me the love and attention that I've needed. So now, here's my companion. We have fun together, we eat dinner together. Don't we go out and play together? Because you're the best girl in the whole world. This is Zoe. And one of these days, I'll be able to introduce her to Bart.
Thank you, Mrs. Bookatz. Let the record show that the court has great empathy for your situation. Let's call the next witness, please. Mr. Schneider, this trial is testing my patience. Please keep this short.
I was green, never been to Israel before, and the next thing you know, Bart, who asked me to call him Uncle Bart, says, "Hey, Mitch, let's go on a ride. We'll go to the Dead Sea. Ever been there?" Of course, he knew I hadn't been there, never been to Israel before. Bart says, "Come on, I rented a car." So I decide he knows what he's doing. I say, "Okay, let's go." Bart rents a car. We drive to the Dead Sea, in the car for an hour, schmoozing away. Next thing I know, we're driving along the Dead Sea. All kinds of signs, mostly Hebrew, looks a little unsafe. Bart pulls the car over and says, "Come on, we'll go in." Now, we're not in a parking lot. We're not at an access point. We're on the side of the road. Bart says, "Come on, let's go." We get out of the car, strip down to our underwear. Next thing I know, we're walking through a field, through a cut in the fence, looking like it's probably not where we ought to be. But Bart says, "Come on, it's fine, it's fine." We're in the Dead Sea floating around. Time goes by, we lose track of all sense of time. We look at our watch. Wow, the whole afternoon's gone by. We're supposed to be back for dinner in an hour.
Mr. Schneider, what happened next?
We hurry up back to the car. No towels, nothing to dry off with. Bart's laughing. I'm laughing. We get in the car after getting dressed, race back to the hotel. No time to change, and here we show up, crusted with salt, people looking at us. I start telling the story, and that people start responding, "What? You went through the fence? There's landmines there." Bart's laughing, I'm laughing, and that's when Bart became Uncle Bart, my trusted friend and advisor.
The shocking testimony continues. Up next, a college roommate moves in with Bart, where the accommodations were anything but lively.
When I first moved here, I had no place to live, and Bart offered me a place to live at the funeral home.
We'll be right back.
When I graduated from Ohio State, Bart was already in Cleveland, and he was working at a funeral home at 90th and Euclid, at the old Temple Memorial. And in those days, it was before you had call forwarding and answering services, and when people had the need to talk to someone live about someone who wasn't alive, Bart was there to take the call. And when I first moved here, I had no place to live, and Bart offered me a place to live at the funeral home. I can tell you it was very quiet. It had an interesting little odor to it, but Bart was there, and Bart offered me the place. His mother felt sorry for me. She said, "This is okay for Bart to live here," but after 3 or 4 days of living there, I lived with Bart's mom, who took care of me and was wonderful, and Bart still lived in the funeral home.
Thank you, Mr. Pollock. I understand we now have 2 of Bart's relatives. Of course, the testimony of any relative must be scrutinized very carefully. I don't see any names here.
So, what's in a name? I spent most of my life trying to figure out whether my name was Brad or G. Bradley, but turns out I think my name is Are You Bart's Son? And just because every time I meet someone, be it at the hospital or out in the community at Temple, as soon as I say Bookatz, the response I get is, "Are you Bart's son?" And I guess that's, just a consequence of him being so outgoing and being so involved in the community, things that hopefully maybe one day my kid will just be Brad's son.
Being Bart's son isn't easy. Following the footsteps is his business is big shoes to fill. And by the way, just because I always wear loafers to work doesn't mean I'm loafing around.
Thank you, gentlemen. I understand that we have one more witness regarding some property damage. Sir, will you please take the stand?
It was many years ago. Bart and I were looking for gifts for our wives. We stumbled in this beautiful jewelry store. I think it was Jerusalem. They had glass shells in this store, and I reached up and 8 shells came crashing down. The owner ran over, and he was aghast. He asked us to pay for everything. Bart and I looked at each other, and Judge, we were young guys back then. We didn't have a lot of money. We got down on our hands and knees and tried to clean up the mess.
Mr. Bookatz, you don't know how lucky you are that the statute of limitations has run on this.
Well, the witnesses have spoken. The evidence is irrefutable. Bart Bookatz is calling me to ask for a donation. Judge, any parting words?
I'm going to take this whole mishegas under advisement. Mr. Bookatz, don't call me, I'll call you. In the meantime, you can continue to roam the streets.